find my stuff. Okay, I have so much junk all over the place. I've got a new toy. As it says in the stream. Oh, and I also have WD-40. And I keep testing the chair. It's amazing. Before it creaked like my knees. But yeah. Okay, so this thing. Let me put it up to the camera. I don't even know if it's focusing on that. This thing is going to be, I don't know, revolutionary. I just have no idea. So, when you use a tablet like this, there will be, on the sides, typically these buttons that do certain things, like undo and change the brush size and all these things, but I've never been able to use them, because when I'm drawing, I don't feel like moving this up and down. I just kind of want to draw and be free. So what I do is I use this keyboard that's over here, and you can't really see it, but it's like super not ergonomic, so hate that. Gonna get a crick and whatnot, so I think it would be cool to be able to just move my hand around while I'm working by using this thing. So we shall see. I have programmed many of these buttons, and already I'm a little bit frustrated because I keep wanting to reach for the keyboard, but you know, old habits die hard. See, I'm already screwed up. Undo. No? Oh, I know why. It helps to turn it on. Jeez. Alright, that was an undo. Did you see that? Oh, scribble, scribble, scribble. Undo. Yes. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. Alright, let's try the zoom capability of this thing. There's this little wheel up on the top, and if I push the button, it changes what little thing it does. So auto scroll, brush size, rotate. I don't want to rotate. What I would like to do is scroll. So I'm going to use this little thing. Oh, it's doing it. I don't know how fast I can go or how fast I ought to go. But it's something. It's something. I'm going to try and do, let's see, I'm pure black for this. Alright, so I'm working on this comic. You know, I didn't quite get it done in the month that I wanted to last month. I thought that I'd be able to. But I got sick twice. No, not that sick. That kind of sick. But I did get sick twice, and it was frustrating to sit there and be sicky and not be able to work on my comic. But whatever, you know, life conspires sometimes, and I just wasn't tough enough to work through that. But I am now. Yeah. Right. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I am. I'm doing it right. You're doing it, Peter. So holding down this button gives me the little hand, so I can move this all over the place. Alright. I'm just, you know, kind of sculpting some shapes over here. Like maybe she's coming through a crowd, and I don't want to draw everybody, but I want to give some indication of, you know, maybe people standing here. It's a crowd. Oh, I almost just reached for the keyboard. Did you see that? You didn't see that. Because, whatever. Okay, so maybe I should re-aim the camera. Alright, trying. I almost just reached for it again. Good grief. So this little tool should be able to free me up decently. If I did brush size, I'm not using a brush, that doesn't matter. I can rotate the entire thing. Undo. I've got a little bit of different streaming music this time. I got a copyright warning last time I used a stream that said that it was copyright free, and that was irritating because I just reached for it again. It was irritating because I expressly looked for it. Alright, let's do. Alright, one of these is pen. Yes. That's awesome. bounce back and forth between white and black ink rather than erasing, because erasing can be a little using the back end of this is a little clumsy, and switching just to a straight up eraser rather than just changing the color is in my brain doesn't work. Plus, I'm actually covering things with the ink rather than just cutting right through. If you erase too much, it goes right through the quote paper into the background. And if you ever wind up putting something back there, then dang it, you're gonna wind up seeing it. You don't really want to. Alright, so far I don't hate it. So far, using the buttons just takes a little getting used to, or rather a lot, and at this point I'm not used to it, but I really don't hate it. It's a surprising amount of control that you have over rotating with this thing, but I don't see that you can rotate it the opposite direction. A limitation of the tool. It's really weird. Why can't I rotate it the opposite direction? It's cool that I can rotate it like that. If you're watching and you don't do digital art, this is the kind of thing that you don't really see a lot in the digital art world, is these little weird gadgets that come along with it. People just typically tend to stick to things that mimic actual pen and paper drawing, because that's what people know. I think that the space is evolving. We'll see more cool toys. Evidently, last time I streamed, it was brought to my attention. Oh, I almost just reached for the keyboard again. Brought to my attention by Andrew, buddy of mine from a long time ago, that there's a drinking game you can play while I stream. Bet you didn't know that. Those of you who drink, those of you who don't drink. Whatever, I say the phrase any rate or at any rate, and so every time I utter that phrase, you're meant to drink something. Silly. And now I'm super self-conscious, like maybe I should pay more attention to what I say, but that's just really not going to happen. Pen. Yeah. Sometimes when I've drawn them and I know I'm going to fill in this huge space with all of this, I still feel like rather than using this tool and just kind of choosing it all and filling it in, I feel like still using a pen in case there's something I can find somewhere in there that I really wanted to pick out and not just lose entirely to a complete fill. I am going to switch my glasses though. I've been doing this a lot lately because my bifocals, yes, I wear bifocals. My bifocals, they only focus on something if you look down. And who wants to look like this and everything? So, yeah, this will allow me. But now if I try and look over here and see if, Chad is saying everything, I gotta look over my glasses. So either way, I'm gonna look more aged than I feel sometimes. This character's mask is sort of, I don't know, sort of fun. I almost just reached the keyboard again. Sort of fun. And here's like a close-up of it. I made a little maggot crawling out of the eye, and I don't remember why. I did design this about a month ago. But yeah, this is kind of a board strapped to her face, and I don't know why she's like this. Or rather, we don't know why she's like this in the story just yet. She is kind of this sage. She has advice to give. Whether or not the main character actually eats it is another thing. is to be seen in the story, but in this panel she is walking into the court through a group of people. When I say court, it's a big throne room. They had just literally had their butts handed to them by massive flights of dragons and are trying to recover like moments, mere hours after the fight. And they don't know why they lost, because they had been preparing all of this. These people had been preparing so hard for years to overtake this sleeping dragon horde that has lived in constant threat inside of their realm. Ooh, that's a bad finger. Constant threat inside their realm. At any rate, they went to go take it on, and it was a disaster. So this is kind of a sage character who is going to tell them why they lost and how they probably should handle it in the future, which, surprise, requires an epic quest, which is the kind of story you want to tell when you're drawing comics. Well, for me, I don't know how there are slice of life comics that kind of just tell like mundane, every day I went to school, blah 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 blah. But when I think of comics, I think of heroes and dragons, and that's kind of why I'm doing this. I'm gonna make a little bit more detail of these people over here that are hiding and not hiding, but huddling around and letting this sage character walk through the midst. I don't know. Maybe most of it will still be black. In my brain, that's what I see. Kind of a all black approach to silhouetting. Just want to drive all the attention to the character in the center. But I do want to have kind of like fun with some of these lines. I don't want to draw everything out. I just like the way they look kind of messy, and you're kind of wondering what's going on there. You have some good context. You have establishing shots on the previous page. So you're not like totally lost. Like, what is this person walking through? It's just a tattered, ramshackle group of people. So I guess if I do all of these lines and I don't want to lose them, I'm gonna have to at some point like choose what I'm gonna color it with. I'm gonna maybe use all grays and whatnot. If I put a excuse me, a layer underneath it. I'm not gonna do this all right now because I do want to keep inking, but yeah, I could do gray. This is sloppy. I just want to see what it looks like. And I think that could work just fine. Jump back up to my other layer. Use this cool tool. Oh no, I want it black. Undo. Yeah, I've wanted to stream all week, but I've been kind of tackled by a lot of other client work that I'm sure appreciative of. But my kind of personal work has suffered for it. Because those of you who might be joining and watching at this point, this is not like a subsidy. Oh wait, I'll learn. Here we go. Zoom. Okay. This is my own comic. This isn't some piece of client work, so I can do kind of whatever pops into my brain. I can change whatever I want, and with that kind of freedom comes a terror. Like, am I doing the right thing? Is anybody gonna like my stuff? I really just need to kick it out there. Shipping products, you know, is separates the amateur artist from the pro. And just because you paid for a project doesn't mean you're a pro. Really, it's all about attitude and shipping things. Even if you, in a workmanlike manner, even if you're not particularly stoked by them or about them, rather. I don't know why my phone is so messed up. It's not that. It's not that virus. I don't know what to think about that. Try not to freak out. I'm a naturally anxious person, so when I think about worldwide panic, I'm like, oh, am I the only one that's not panicked? And why aren't we panicked here? It seems serious to some people. Other people just kind of mock it, so I don't know what to do with the flippancy of it all. I'm going to do this whole panel in just, silhouettes, all black. This page is going to be kind of full with a lot of fiddly details, so I don't want to, get lost. And a silhouette gets the point across pretty quickly. This is so nice not having to have my hand up here using this thing. I've only right now used the scroll wheel to make my brush bigger or smaller, an undo button, and this little hand button, so it helps me move things around the screen. But still, I like it. I wonder if I should just do this. Yeah, that works. I don't know why I didn't think of that before. These quick fill tools are amazing. If you're a comics person and you're used to doing stuff longhand, just drawing it out, it's worth giving it a shot to use this program in particular. A lot of people are into using, Photoshop. And it's not for that. It's for photo manipulation. And so while, I've painted a couple hundred paintings in it already, Photoshop is not particularly conducive to actual brush work, making it look like a brush analog. There's a lot of her warning in this character. Pointing fingers, ominously crouching down. Give me a new layer. Gimme. Has anyone been keeping track of how many times I've said "at any rate"? I doubt it. I think I have resisted a temptation thus far. Very proud of myself. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. There we go. Now ready? Zooming out. See, I can zoom in and out. Why can't I rotate both directions when I rotate? It's just weird. Look at that shaky line that I did. Jeez. Let's try that again. Part of it's the resolution. This is tiny. I don't want to zoom in too much because the detail will get lost on anyone when it finally gets printed and you're reading it. Oops. You'll never see this little stuff that I'm doing here. Or rather, I'm trying to fight the temptation to make stuff that you don't see. Because, I could see. Oh yeah, I could do this and work at this level. But when you print it, it's absurd. This is it might make it easy, but I'm focusing on some of the details. Like if I was to draw little things, it would just, it would get lost in the final. This little panel is probably this big on the page. So I'm going to zoom out because that's a little bit irritating. I was doing it to make my point, but I don't like it. figure I'll stream for about an hour on Facebook and YouTube. And then I'm going to go ahead and stream on Twitch for a while. Music's pretty loud, brother. Brother! Thanks for the heads up. It doesn't seem loud on my part, so since I have you, does that affect it? He sits, waiting patiently for the chat to catch up. It's weird. It says I got no viewers. The viewer count is really stunted. Doesn't affect it. Okay, so that little slider thing is just about worthless. So there's a mic and an auxiliary. Here, let me try a thing. See these here, Thursday? Mic and aux is bouncing like crazy, even when I'm not talking. So that makes me think, oh, that worked. Is my voice too quiet now? There's a bit of a lag. So if I turn it down there, so I don't want to turn it off all the way. Rob, thank you. Now it's just my voice. What? Darcy, text me if it's more real time. You have my number. Then you can tell me. You can help me diagnose. Look, Darcy, I got a new toy. This thing controls this thing. Wacom makes it. Wacom makes this, and Wacom makes this. So at any rate, I'm able to zoom and change brush size and rotate and everything. You'll be proud of me. I put a compressor on my voice. Probably screwed it up though. If there's one thing I haven't quite mastered is the oh, now it's perfect. Perfect is what I want to hear. I haven't mastered the whole sound thing, like understanding what the heck a, compressor actually does. I mean, I get it in theory, but when I start listening to it, sometimes I think I got it. I wonder why I couldn't see. Darcy, there's a guy in chat, Rob Coach. He is a friend of mine from Colorado, and we play Rainbow Six together. So next time you're on, we'll get a 4-man. Garrett, me, Hugh, and Rob. We'll destroy everything. Mainly we just screw around and do the terrorist hunt thing. I said terrorist. Boom, demonetized. Not that any of my streams are monetized in that way. My wife is texting. Let's see. Let's see what she has to say. I almost just... We're talking about Pokemon Go. I know. I go straight from talking about Rainbow Six Siege to Pokemon Go. It's called dissociative identity disorder. Rob says mostly we watch Garrett do all the work. Kinda. If I get shot early and I just sit around, bleed out, and then yeah, I watch Garrett work. Rob plays this insanely bizarre Russian character that it's just indiscriminate with this bombing mechanism that he has. He puts it on the wall, and then it just throws pucks of explosives all over the place inside. And yeah, you just hope you're not on one of those missions where you're trying to save the hostage, right, Rob? I mean, it's a specific example for a reason. Oh, also, Dursey, Rob plays Deep Rock Galactic and gets angry that there are no orcs in the game. Oop, I was holding it backwards. Hostage be warned. Did you roll together with us? Oh. Little on-screen cues. Boom. Rotate. Yes, I want to rotate now. Thank you. I want to get it all the way back around. Oh, come on. The fact that you can't scroll clockwise is a little dumb. Wacom, if you ever, watched any of my stuff, which I find highly improbable, that would be my main criticism thus far. Should be orcs, not stunties. Rob, you have enough orcs in your life. Can you ever really have enough orcs in your life, Rob? It is a brilliant game, though. Let's zoom out, zoom out. You get kind of used to that. There we go. Yeah, I actually jumped on with my Smurf account. I say Smurf account. That makes me sound like an idiot. It's an account that I have. It is much lower level because I wanted to run with Obi. So now I can get back in the newcomer queues and play amongst all the noobs. And let's face it, I'm pretty much still the skill of a noob. Do we try and do this? What do we try and do here? Yeah, it's not bad. Do some quick and dirty fills, and I'll come back to make this look a little bit more polished later. Sometimes I just need to rough in some stuff, even though I'm in the inking phase, and this is actually what's actually going to be in the comic. The stupid thing is I still haven't named this character, which is funny because in the thing she should be nameless. Andrew! You caught me live. I actually mentioned you earlier, Andrew. You weren't here. I told him about the drinking game you invented when we play. When I do this whole streaming thing. Whenever I say at any rate, everyone drinks. And if I'm not conscious about it, I will say it all the time. And you made me self-conscious about it. Rob, what you said, I don't understand what you just said. And it was said long enough ago to where it could have been anything. Oh, just reach for the keyboard again. Andrew, you do digital art. This is the stupid new product I'm trying from Wacom that helps me control all this stuff. So I'm still getting used to it, reaching over to the keyboard, doing stuff. But this is going to help me be a little bit more streamlined and ergonomic. I have a weakness, though, in that I'm addicted to gadgets of any kind, so this kind of helps. I love you too, Andrew. Rob can't spell orcs. That was the most amazing attempt at spelling a 4-letter word I've ever seen, Rob. On this, a Wacom touchpad, kind of. It's got like a circular bit. Like if I hit this, you can see it on the screen. This circular bit allows me to do things like rotate, scroll, and then brush size, blah, 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 blah. But there are a bunch of these, like, express keys. I hate using them when they're on the actual device. But this thing allows me to keep my hand just any old place. Oh, I just bashed my elbow into the freaking thing. Rob, you don't need to type. But typically we get on voice chat anyways. Let me try and do a different panel. Do I think this one's ready to ink, or do I need to hit it with pencils one more time? Yeah, the Cintiq side stuff. This Wacom, what is a Cintiq? This is a Cintiq Pro 22. But like the Intuos is the one that I used to use, and it is one of those tablets that you would draw on the tablet, but it would show up on a screen up here, and I cannot manage that. I need to be able to see what I'm drawing. So yeah, it is kind of like the Cintiq stuff. The new big monitor like this doesn't have any of them on the side. You have to use this. Rob just rolls his orc face on the keys. That's how an orc types. Just sheer face typing. I can actually see you doing that, Rob. Let's see. Let's scroll into Zoom. Oop. Okay. On. Oop. Yeah. See, this thing isn't quite as responsive as I hoped it would be. There's got to be a setting or something. Wait until it's all VR. You don't have to do anything about depth and field, just sculpt in 3D. Do you have that, Dursey? Did you say you had the sculpting in 3D in VR? Because I would totally do that. I don't know if I could stream a thing like that, but you could mock me while I try that. Oh, geez, Andrew, you got the 24 HD? Jeez. Do you have a sugar daddy, or like, that sounds weird, sugar mama in your case? Because that probably costs about as much as I spend on a car. They have a 30-something now, 30-something inch thing. 33? Just... Dursey, don't buy it just because of me. Buy it because you are worth it. No, I would totally do that 3D sculpting in VR thing. I'd probably get lost in it for a little too long if I was any good at it. If it proved to be like too difficult and above my pay grade, I don't know. I don't know if I can hang in there with it, because you're not actually touching something. When I first started, somebody else who follows the stream and has talked in here before, his name Tom Peterson, he taught me how to use an airbrush, and that was an adjustment, because you're here painting and it's touching here. You're not actually touching the substrate itself. Well, moving around in the air with in VR would be just as hard. Car accident payout. I'm sorry to hear that. Hopefully you're alright from it. I've only, let's see, been in one car accident. Rob, you might remember, because I broke all of your toys. All of your models. Well, at least that big spider model. Ooh, let's see if I can remember where the... Nope, that's not it. I had one that saved. No, I'm actually going to hit save. Biggest is 32, that's what it is. 24 is even a little too big. I wondered if it would be too much real estate. I'd be willing to try, though. Oh, hey. Did I just lose the stream? Hi, guys. Everything bounced for a second. Yeah. So all of a sudden, this thing makes it so that if I put my cursor on here, it shows up on there. Let me turn it off and see if I can... I think I might have found something wrong with it. 22 is a happy size. Plus, I don't have to have a massive, control or arm to keep it on there. All right. I'm over here. I'm fixing a thing. I'm going to do this. Pop it up there. Now, I can move my mouse around here, but if I grab this pen, it bounces over there. Ah. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to calibrate. Hold on to your butts. It's really not that exciting. Did they change this? No. calibration time. So I touch, boop, I touch. This is how it knows how to handle the parallax of the screen, because this screen is actually pretty fat plastic, which is incidentally what they called me in prison. Calibration complete. Let's see. There we are. And we're back. I'm blaming it mainly on the new device I'm using. 22 have a huge base on it. 24 has like a 50-pound base. The base that I had was like cast iron. I'm not kidding. Maybe that's the same. Maybe that's what you're talking about. But it is a little overkill, maybe to keep it from like skittering all over the place when you're, when you have it just on a desk. But I hated it, and I messed around with it for a couple years before I got this ergo arm so that I can move it around. And I really, really like this now. It's much better. Feels a little bit more bouncy, but put it on an Ergotron arm. That's what I got. Yeah, wide and flat. Dumb. I don't like. See, now I feel like the music just got loud again. Andrew, why don't you ever post anything you draw on there? Online. I never see anything. I think you did it once. Or is you going to make that part of your podcast on gaming? I think you should do a podcast. Dercy's going to do a podcast. But no, yeah, nobody reads blogs anymore. I can't tell you the last time I read one except for to try and find some information that somebody hasn't written in a long time, and it's now I gotta go read somebody's freaking blog spot. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna zoom out. Zoom out! Use the zoom functionality. Oh. Turn it on again. I don't know about this thing. Makes me wonder if I could do this kind of stuff with my smartphone, but you wouldn't have actual buttons to feel. I think by much I really mean it all, because I haven't been drawing much. Why don't you draw? Don't you have to do that as part of your job? You're like a game designer or something. Unless I'm completely off. You're living the dream, right? West Coast designer. Why did you move out to the West Coast? People still watch video blogs, interestingly enough. Okay, what's the difference between a video blog and just a podcast? See, it started out back when I first started listening to podcasts, because I did for a while, I don't anymore, that a podcast was just an audio thing. I have to calibrate this again, that's really bad. But now, you can watch while they talk. I'm like, okay, well, is that still a podcast, or is that just a freaking interview? In my day, you write the content. That's right, D&D books. So you write it? Let me move this chat over here because I can't see nothing with my reading glasses on. Yeah, so did you ever really want to draw for it? I thought you got a degree doing art, but I guess we don't all use our degrees. I have a graphic design degree, and you know how many people have asked me about it ever? I lost count at 0. Nobody gives a rat's nothing about graphic design degree. But hey, I have the student debt to prove that I have it. Oop, I just heard the door. Hello? Maybe I did not hear the door. I'm dreaming. From my understanding, podcasts are interview style. Interview style? I moved the frickin' window. Look at that. Interview style. Podcasts are interview style. Or topical, while video blogs go to Walmart, do makeup, or talk smack about the vloggers. Okay. Okay. That sounds like an Urban Dictionary definition of a thing. Not that you're actually trying to define it. Let's zoom out. Her little face mask thing seen from all different directions is pretty hilarious. I feel like I could cosplay this nameless character. But I'd have to be much shorter or just crawl around on my knees a lot. And at my age, I guess less and less probable. Rob and I used to do adventure races. When I say used to do, we did one together. I know he's done more. But yeah, I thought I was going to die. One of these races where they put up a bunch of obstacles and you got to run through them, you know, you train and whatnot. And this one we decided to do was on Copper Mountain in Colorado. I think that's where it was. But the organizers of the race had never organized a race at altitude before. So the altitude was the biggest obstacle at the obstacle course. I'm going to try and move this just a hair. It was just brutal. So I don't know if I actually improved that, seeing as the whole picture just went away. Orc has to be the word of the stream. Is it orc O-R-K or orc O-R-C? I'm sure Rob has an opinion. I'm readjusting my camera because it got pointed all wonky. I can see if I could just screw it up enough. And seeing as my headset doesn't have wireless capabilities, I'm lucky I didn't just dump my coffee all over the place. ORC is token. Yeah, that's what it was. Token. I'm kind of fond of ORK, even though I do like Tolkien a lot. Rob says, if you don't go to school, you won't have that debt. Then you end up an orc like me. Rob. Orc is the word of the stream. Alright, let's try this again. My face cam is just going to be off. I'm going to go ahead and say, try and add this. Boop. This is what it looks like. If I say, maybe display capture? No. If I say, I don't actually know that it matters much. Window capture. Add source. Yeah. Oh, I know why it's doing that. Dun, da, da. I think we'll just do without it for now. Nobody needs to see my face anyways. So Rob spells orc with, what is that, 7 O's, at least 7 R's, and possibly an infinite number of K's. Yeah. Yeah. I think Thor said all words are made up. All words are made up. Just like Shakespeare. How else could we spell orc? I'm going to create an entire universe where you spell orc with 2 C's. Or a Q-U-E. Yeah. I'm going to try my hand at streaming on Twitch today. That should be interesting. There's a whole creative space on Twitch for artists who just sit and draw like I'm doing now and talk to people about whatever. But I'm going to test it. But I think that if you don't draw pretty girls as a subject matter, you're not going to get a lot of viewers. But that's fine. It's not like I do it for the viewers. It's kind of a bizarre entertainment. All right, now I can do this for real. Shakespeare was made up too. Like Shakespeare didn't exist. Is it Christopher Marlowe, I think it was? Is that this guy's name? Was his rival while he was doing all these plays, and the two of them would write plays and see who got the bigger crowds at their venues. And there is a theory, because they were never quite seen at the same place at the same time, that they had similar writing styles, that actually Marlowe and Shakespeare were the same person. Rick and Morty fan, shut up, man. The only reason I watch Rick and Morty is because you make me. You don't make me. Nobody can make me do anything. But I do admit that about 60% of that show is intelligent funny. Oh, my cat just scared the garbage out of me. 60% intelligent funny. And the rest of it is just fart humor, which I don't find particularly funny. Not since I graduated from middle school. Alright, I feel like this is pretty good. I really want to move on to the next panel because it's like this big, what do you call it, the big splash portion of this. If I scroll out, this guy, not guy, but this is going to be a lot of fun to do. A little bit more detail than the rest of it. So yeah, gotta resist. It's like eating your vegetables. You do the parts of the page that aren't as fun. Get them the heck out of the way. Yeah. Sometimes I redraw this stuff too much, and there's nothing actually gained from the new iterations. Andrew, this is why we're friends. Rick and Morty's a bit much for you. I guess why I hated about it and I couldn't handle about Rick and Morty for the first, I don't know how long I watched it, the art to me is terrible. I can't stand it. The way that they do the hair, and I like stylization, I really do. To be fair, it took me a while to get into The Simpsons because I couldn't handle the art style, but one that I cannot overcome, is South Park. South Park is still one of the dumbest things I've ever seen. I get why the art style is the way it is. Don't care. Don't have to like it. It's just, ugh. At least if it was like a little bit more like illusion of motion, not just paper skittering around. Ugh. I've seen some decently funny scenes from South Park, but that's all I need. I need a... I don't know how I feel about that hand. I mean, I just want little marks. I don't want like a bunch of detail coming out of this thing. Andrew, we could totally like collaborate if you want to. Dursey and I are trying to figure out how we can collaborate, but you know, I could start something, you could finish it, type of thing. See you, Dercy. Happy arting indeed. Oh, this hand is bad. If I look at my hand, if I was holding on to a thing, I'm gonna fix that. Ugh. Oh, dude, what did I just do? Watch this. I drew that on totally the wrong layer. Well, let's, way to go, Bob. I don't have a thing set up for cutting and pasting yet, so I'll cut. Then I'll come up to the correct frickin'... See how I have to reach over and touch the keyboard? No, you can't, because I'm not on the camera anymore. Here we go. Yeah, much better. Now I'm on the right. Yeah, and you can tell because there's blue surrounding everything. So I know I'm in that one panel. Bear with me a second while I try and figure a thing out. I just bashed my microphone. EOS. As I get up and wander around. Yeah, some of the music is dumb. What can I say? Let's see. Remote shooting. Live shoot. Here we go. I'm going to get the face cam back because I know you guys were missing me. It's a complete lie. Let's add a window capture. I hit add source. I don't care what it's called. And come down to live view window. I'm just going to jam this up in the corner. Awa. This is one of those, where is it? This here? It's one of those streams that just stays on. Ugh. Some of the music is dumb. That's exactly what you can say. What? I don't understand what you're trying to say. Yes, it's short. I know. I get like a little bit crazy sometimes where like I can't handle it. The beard has to go short. And then I remind myself why I never do that. Because then I have a chin. Little known fact. Put the mic... What do I factor into my beard decisions? One time, I shaved my beard off because I puked on it. So there's that. Couldn't handle that. Another time, I got really hot. Another time, I think I couldn't remember if I had a beard or not. I mean, like, not a beard, a chin or not. And so I had to prove to myself. And that was a horrible, horrible thing. Like, for real, I don't have a chin. One time I changed it because I had to have a respirator fitted. And they said, well, a beard will get in the way. So I got rid of it and promptly never wore the respirator after that. But I know you have the big manly beard still. I've proven in the past that I can grow said beard. And so, you know, I can return to it in a minute. I don't know how people do it. They keep it long all the time because I was getting to the place where I was zipping it up in my hoodie. And that's when I was like, nah, I can shorten it up a little bit. Man, I'm like, why is everything so blurry? Glasses. Alright. I have some art to do for a convention coming up. I was thinking about doing it on the stream later this weekend. I'm getting to the place I'm about that 65% done where you could, ship the product and no one would know any better and they'd think, yeah, it looks good. But I would know. So I'm going to keep working on it. Save. Remember to save. Ooh, what's that? Control Shift? Why is it doing that? Oh. No. We're not doing that again. Whatever that was. Seemed like it was a mistake. I think I just somehow accidentally made like 17 layers over here that aren't doing anything. I feel like now I can't get rid of them. I should draw on every single one of them. Here we go. Let me keep going. Waste not. Sustainable digital design. We were actually going to Gamma and then to GaryCon 2. Oh, 2 weeks later. Coronavirus, come on. GaryCon's like right down the road. But Gamma, isn't that where you go, Rob? Oh, Tom's here. What's up, Tom? I haven't seen you in a while. Gamma, game manufacturer. Yeah, that's the one that Rob goes to. I was just talking to Rob. He's the guy that spells orc with a K and does nothing if it doesn't involve orcs. He owns a game store in Colorado Springs. And they're coming up on the 20th anniversary. At any rate, he goes to Gamma every year, and then he's, that close and never comes to see me. Honestly, don't blame him. Yeah, Lake Geneva. Lake Geneva is GaryCon. I've never been. I call myself a fan, I know. But I honestly don't know what they do out there. I mean, is it just all role-playing all weekend? Do they never have, like, any other kinds of, kinds of gaming? Miniature gaming, tabletop gaming? I don't know, I guess I'd go. I should give it a shot. Alright, I have like 85 layers. Let me turn that one off. Finish up a little bit of lines here. Move on to the little bit closer up image. Yeah, good enough. Rob needs to stock Nord game stuff in his store. Rob, you have to stock Nord game stuff. That's Andrew's thing. He's a writer for it. I'll let you talk about it. Because I guess I don't understand 100%. There's some like DM's tools and whatnot. Ooh, I almost just did the thing using the remote still because this is the wheel. It looks just like that. That's a little hint as to, hey, what was it? Brush size. Okay. I'm going to move on. I'm going to move on to another frame. I'm cruising. This is kind of like the point at which she realizes she can't hurt this nameless character. She raises her hand to kind of like backhand her for saying some insolent crap to her because she's royalty, and she realizes there's something protects her, which isn't revealed until later, much later. I don't have any. Oh yeah. I don't think up until now I don't have any like close-ups of her in I actually have to do some artwork for a magazine this weekend too. Cover stuff. Sometimes Jeff shows up to these things and we can talk. He's the guy who owns the magazine that I do some artwork for. You ever see like Highlights magazine? Where you like look for all the hidden images in a thing or whatever. Those are the kind of illustrations I wind up doing for his magazine. And it's actually really, really challenging. At first when we started doing it, it was like much easier. We would just do coloring pages, and that I could do in my sleep because that's basically just what we're doing now, black lines on a white background. But a hidden images thing, that's hard. Because you don't want to give it away. Oh, that thing was obvious. There's the banana. But you also want it to look good. If I try and hide a banana, an image of a banana, in the facial structure of something, I'm gonna have to make it look bad. I'm gonna have to make, maybe the nose huge or something, just to hide it in there, and then so you have to sacrifice some of your original vision for the beauty of the art for kind of the function of this. I'm so hungry, it's not even funny. I actually could stand to lose a few pounds, so maybe sitting and drawing through the hunger pain. Andrew, are you really afraid of the coronavirus thing? Are you an alarmist? 482 pages. Did you write all 482 pages? Seems like a lot of work. A lot. I mean, I know there's probably illustrations in there too, but it's a lot. It's just 482 pages of anything. If I wrote my name 482 times, I feel like that would be a lot of work. So, congratulations. I gotta move my chair up. It's driving me crazy. I have this pad that I run my chair around on, and if I sit in one place too long, it sinks. It sinks and then rolls around on its own. Yeah. I think we roll with that. Not all, but the builder chapters, the appendices, the intro, the foreword. That does sound quite a bit. I hope they pay you lots. Nord Games. Why is it called Nord? Am I missing something? The pre-gens and interesting NPC chapters are the only things I didn't write. Yeah, I still never checked that out, I must confess. I think part of it is I kind of maybe a little too prideful, because when I make that stuff up, when I DM, I like to think that it's my stuff, I'm making it up, but I know I have run other campaigns before, so I guess it's not entirely my brain. I started running Out of the Abyss. I don't know if you know what that is. That's a really, really complex adventure. And after a while, I just was like, I'm tired of this book, and so I took the characters off into another world, and we'll return. But I kind of wanted to tell my own story. That does not mean what you're doing isn't important. I just really like to be able to go on the fly and create stuff. A starting place would be fun. My buddy started the company with his brother, and they have Scandinavian ancestry. So Nord is Scandinavian. Kind of sounds like it. Nordic. I don't know why I didn't go there. Yes, because I'm very smart. I still haven't worked out the colors of these characters, so that should be an entirely different crazy process. To get some coffee, sit down, think about color theory, ignore half of what I think about, and scroll, zoom. Oh, my face itches. It's probably the coronavirus. I'm zooming. No, not zooming. I'm rotating. Let's do this big frickin' honkin' face one. I'll keep that on because it helps me see a little bit better. Get the book and just don't use the pre-gens. Designed not to tell you what to do, but more to give you a structure or skeleton. It doesn't tell you why, so you could give me like Sherwood Forest, and I could tell the story in Sherwood Forest, kind of thing, if I understand. If I understand you correctly. Which I guess I could appreciate. It also depends on the artwork. Like, I'll buy some dumb books if the artwork's awesome. I've been known to do so. Alright, this is the panel I've been looking forward to. One of the more fun things I like to draw is like crusty old grainy wood. I don't know if I'm successful at it. I just like to draw it. In my brain it looks like crusty ass old grainy wood, but like I want it to feel like if I ran my hand over this, I would get a splinter. But also have that driftwood quality where things get warped and swollen. Karen Petrasco was the main artist. I'm gonna go look up Karen Petrasco because this is what I do sometimes. First things first, switch glasses because I'm 100. Let's go over to this one and go. And she does, okay. She's a digital artist. You know, sometimes you can tell. It's, you know, I really like, what in the world is this thing? This is the most majestic animal I've ever seen. If you talk to her, say this is the most majestic animal I've ever seen, please. Even this skull that's off to the side is hilarious. Oh my good word, that is amazing. Yeah, some good stuff. Oh, that's sad. That's super sad. Tells a cool story, though. I like it. Me. Definitely me. It's like looking in the mirror. Whoa. Me reminds me of Peter Moorbacher and all the Angelarium stuff that he does. But this is a little bit more. It's not quite as painterly as his stuff. His stuff, yeah. Add her on Facebook, huh? This one I think is less strong. This one is not as strong to me. There's something off about it. Not that I'm here to critique what she's doing. Oh, this is like a study or a portrait of someone from waking Mars is what it says in the bottom. Ooh, I like that kind of warped fisheye feel. I can dig that. I thought she was flipping me off for a second there. But it looks like it's a loading screen, or no, the beginning screen of a game. Yeah, play a game. Options, credits, quick game. Yeah. That's very idyllic. It's good work on the sky. I like it. This one's a little bit more highly rendered. Oh, wow. Like that one too. Love the feeling there. The warm in the foreground. What a rude ghost. It would be a rude ghost. Oh, the dreaded lorem ipsum. But that's cool. Down here, this guy. I like it. It says hint. Oh, no, well done. No, Peter Moorbacher, let me show you, like, I don't even know how to say it. Here we go. He does magic cards every once in a while, but his stuff is his art station. Let's see. You might have seen this guy already. He calls it Angelarium, so he does all these like character studies on, the angel of this or that, and it's super painterly looking, even though I think all of it's digital. But she's beautiful. The way some of the body parts dissolve into others and disappear. And none of them are quite human, they've got this weird head shape or something. Oh my gosh, I wish I could have. There was like a weird face going over her in one of these ads on the side, and it was a majestic thing. Ooh, that one's got like a cittern or something. Surrealist? Kind of, yeah, except that I don't know what the symbolism would be other than. I mean, this is obviously telling a little story here. The head of it is surreal, but whenever I think of surrealism, I think of. That's a gorgeous pencil piece. Whenever I think of surrealism, I think of something having a symbolic meaning, whereas I'm not sure he's going for that. I think he's going for pure form. That's gorgeous. At any rate, yeah. This is why I just write, stop. You could totally do the art. Oh, man. So at any rate, his use of color is stunning. Like this. That's awesome. I used to follow him for a while, listen to his podcast. He's kind of dogmatic about some things, and that makes me sort of sad to listen to because there's a lot of other opinions out there that you can take. So he would just say some dogmatic stuff that I don't think applies a lot. And whenever you make a statement of dogma, by the definition, it's meant to apply everywhere. So I was like, he did it enough times. I really like his work, and maybe he's changed. Maybe I would be less. I don't want to say irritated. It just took me out of it. If I'm listening to this guy and what he's saying about digital art and whatnot, and he starts to make statements that take me out of it, whether they're right or wrong or whatever, make me think about things other than the topic at hand, I start to lose interest in watching. Kind of like what I'm doing right now. Talking about things, trying not to say the phrase, at any rate. I will forever be self-conscious about that. It isn't quite surrealistic. Trippy. I like trippy. Trippy, I think, is a good word for what he's making. I don't know. Actual surrealism, if you look it up, there weren't a lot of, in my opinion, great technical artists who engaged in surrealism. There's, of course, Dali, who is without peer in his ability to render stuff with believable structure and shape and lighting. Gonna need many, many little lines. I don't know that I could work for a comic company, actually. I could. It would take me a while to get accustomed to, because I just take way too long drawing certain things. They'd get mad and fire me. Please move faster. But I can't. Andrew, do you use Photoshop or do you drink? Did I say at any rate? I hate you. I'm gonna put that on the page somewhere, like on my stream. At any rate, and then I have a counter. Every time I say it, somebody has to tell me, and then I have to increase the counter by 1. I'm sure it can be done. I'm sure it can be automated to where I don't have to like stress and it just happen. I could have someone be a moderator and they could do it for me. Photoshop all the way, huh? Never anything else. I've just been trying to encourage people to move to other digital art platforms. I think Painter, Corel Paint, or is it Painter? No, I can't remember. I think it's Painter. Is so much better than Photoshop at the blending modes and a lot of the brush structures and behaviors that I'm amazed more people don't use it. And people just stick with Photoshop. I think there's more tutorials out there on how to use Photoshop. Plus the documentation on this software is a little hard. It's translated directly out of Japanese, and sometimes things can get lost in translation. Not sometimes. It really gets a little weird at times. I like their design philosophy, but it does get weird. Let me see if I can do this, even though it's not on the same layer. Oh, that worked. See? That's a freebie. I don't have to... Andrew, why did you move out to the West Coast? Is that your wife's family location, or? Because that's like really far from here, obviously. But it's just interesting to hear how people, you know, move and why they move. Sometimes I play with Illustrator. Oh yeah. Yeah, Illustrator is a completely different world. Illustrator is only for vector graphics, and when people try and do it to mimic raster graphics with Illustrator, why are you doing it? It's kind of like saying I can bike this massive bike trail on a unicycle. Congratulations, you probably do it easier and better if you had 2 wheels under yourself. The mountains call to me. Yes, Rob, I know. The mountains call to me. I still want to say it's been over, I don't know how many years, 6 years, and I feel the loss every day. I tend to look, you know, out to the west and expect to see this amazing view, and nothing. It's, you know, Wisconsin is not overly gorgeous. That's being kind. There's times where it's just like super boring. Because our feature, our great landmark that you have to navigate by, is a gigantic flat body of water. Every once in a while, Rob will send me a beautiful picture of Pikes Peak out in Colorado Springs, where we were from, where he still is. And I don't know if he's trying to be nice to share a beautiful picture, or if he's just mocking me. Ooh, let's increase brush size. Let's do it. Using this function now. Oh yeah! Look at that, the little remote thing. I can use my thumb to do this rather than reach over. That's awesome. I know it's probably not as exciting to non-artist types, but it's a piece of tech that I think could free me up. Both. Thanks, Rob. Those were the days. I did. I felt healthier there. You know, I was healthier there. Here, you just don't get enough sunlight to maintain any kind of positive mental outlook. I needed to get out, and I didn't want to get out, but, you know, it came around to, what, 9 o'clock last night? And Amy and I just like, that's it, we're going to go for a walk, and we just froze, and the freaking wind chill was insane. But if you don't force yourself in this climate, in this atmosphere, you won't do it. Ooh, I want to move back to this panel real quick, because I meant to do some of the darkening stuff. Mom and Dad moved out here. Oh, really? I didn't know they moved out there. I forgot he worked for Wax. Yep. Santa Cruz. Jeez. You went to the Art Institute as well? So did I. That's where my design degree is from. Okay, you had your time to hang back here. Time to go somewhere new. Oh, you moved in with them. Oh, that's cool. Is that cool? I don't know. I mean, it's cool that you feel like you could do that. My family and I are really close. Like my kids, when Maddie's in town, you know, my daughter, we hang out a lot and talk art because she's an artist too. She makes me proud. She's going to be an art educator, which is something that I feel like I could do if I really put my mind to it and got the degree. But since Art Institute went kind of belly up and out of business, they haven't sent me my transcripts nor my diploma. So now I can't prove to, you know, a place that I just want to go, you know, just teach for a class or two. Oops. I would like to teach a class or two because I still maintain that I can teach anyone how to draw. Anyone. AI Denver? No. Pittsburgh. Yes. And it was all right. I honestly did not learn anything from them that I didn't learn on the field already. I mean, I learned so much already working for a guy named Mark Boswell in Colorado Springs, and just he gave me a shot when no one else would because I was an unproven quantity. I haven't saved for like half an hour. Haha. Could have been bad. Alright, I feel like that page is decently inked. And this is the kind of thing that I'll sleep on and go, oh no, why was I thinking that? For instance, I'm already thinking that that second panel needs more blacks on the sides to mix in with those grays. Maybe? I'm going to move on to a different panel, a different page though. If I can pull up Clip Studio. Clip Studio Paint is the actual paint program, but there's another program called Clip Studio that kind of, if you know what Bridge is in Adobe, that it organizes all your paintings and drawings and whatnot, and it's the launcher. I don't know, it's nice to be able to look at a glance and go, oh yeah, that I was working on that or that. But I hit this More tab, and it shows me all the things. And now I go back to this one. Open in Paint. Yeah. I think this is one of the ones I was working on stream. Bridge was super handy. What do you mean was? It's still around, right? Oh, I didn't know your parents got divorced. I'm sorry to hear that. That's a bummer. It's rough when you actually know somebody and that story becomes pretty real. Yeah, let's draw this this Pieta scene that I started. Yeah, I feel like I want to zoom in just a little bit more. All right. Oh, hey! Whoa. Where's my undo? There we go. Pen. I still want to go more in. See, when you draw, when traditional comic artists would draw in a much inflated size. I have some comic pages over there. For a comic this big, you would draw on a piece of paper, you know, quite large. So I don't have a lot of guilt in me for exploiting how far I can zoom in on digital software. I don't have a lot, just because they would reduce that work if I did it on paper anyways and say, you need to draw a lot bigger or on a bigger surface. Ooh, I hate that.
This is the future.
This is the future. The human ear is such an annoying thing to draw. I feel like in the CS6-ish days it was a standalone program. It might have been. I don't know. Do I have Bridge installed? Bridge. Oops. I bet you I don't, though, because I use... It ain't on here. No. At one point, it was like super necessary if you were working with raw photos that had just intense amount of dynamic range and so much information you couldn't possibly maintain it all, you know, editing it, so you would have to choose to change its exposure and its saturation and everything before you brought it into Photoshop. That's the only reason I ever used Bridge to begin with. Yeah, I think it used up a lot of resources on my computer. This person's hair is going to be kind of white, so I don't want to draw a lot of lines in it like I did over here in her hair. Her hair is very dark to begin with, so if I add more lines in it, it's fine. It's not going to hurt the concept. But this bright white hair needs to look fine and wispy, but a real mess. This is the Harridan of the Marshes, and she had held back an entire force of dragons just because her, you know, she would stand and hold these talismans on a hill, and she stood there for years through the aid of magic, and all of these dragons would just fall asleep. And it made it very easy to hunt them for the people of the realm, so they would go around and dispatch them. Of course, they would waken when you tried to do so, but, you know, at least you're able to tactically walk up to them. Anyway, that's not totally part of the story at all. But the tale of her holding back and making them all fall asleep is part of the narrative. And this is when she finally can do it no longer. So she essentially gives up a decade of her life. Harridan is a great word. You do know how to spell it, too. Did I say at any rate? Son of a... I'm going to have to just start swearing like crazy, and then I won't have to say at any rate. At any rate... Drink. Let me do something like this real quick. I feel like that works. There's going to be a lot of darkness. Yeah. I want her to like this shawl that she's wearing to have baubles of glass and stuff hanging from it, just to break up this wide area of not so much interesting folds, drapery. Andrew, do you write in Scrivener? Do you ever use Scrivener? Or do you use it just like Google Document? Because I'm a big fan of Scrivener for writing now. Contemplating doing, you know, oh, Tyrannid. Yes, it is. It's a Tyrannid. I think I learned the word Harridan from a book I was reading like eons ago, and it's like an old woman. I forget in what context I learned it, but then, with Tyranid, the flying one is... You do use Google Docs. At any rate, I like the word Harridan. I looked it up after a while. Tyranids is an army, by the way, those of you who don't know, is an army in a game called Warhammer 40k, and all of the initial aliens of this army are named after old women. So if you look it up, there's a harpy, a gaunt. What's another one? Now I can't think of the other ones. It'll come to me. Because they had to have a theme, I guess. And they chose like old women. Harpy, Harridan. Oh, there's one called the Dominatrix. Go figure. That's like a really old one, though. They don't use that anymore in the lore. I'm not drinking. No, it's a little early. There's a lot of tattered fabric that at some point starts looking a lot like her hair. I think that's cool. But too many folds. These are the talismans that are in her hand. There's a close-up of them in another part of the book. I'm going to rotate. I'm going to do it, but not clockwise. Doesn't allow it. It's not 5 p.m. Oh, 5 somewhere. Shut up. Okay, got it. I thought you were saying it was 5. I'm like, I have time zones pretty down. I understand them. But now you got me doubting myself. If you ask me, I could say something that I know is true, like my eyes are hazel. I'd say, my eyes are hazel. And if you said, are you sure? I would doubt myself. Just almost immediately. I'm like, wait, should I go look? Why would you ask that? Why would you ask if I'm sure? Now I need to triple check it. It's an illness. Are you sure it's an illness? Okay, how did I do this before? If my hand is... all the fingers curl back towards you when your hand is laying like this, as opposed to like this. Yeah. I was going to make her with these crazy long fingernails. You're so bad at what? Wait, what were you talking about? That you were so bad at? Like doubting yourself? Yeah, I hate that feeling. If you look at a bone, you know how people always draw bones that look like this? You know, the blobby ends on either side. That's because bones actually do that. And so when you're a very skinny person, normally I would draw an arm and, you know, this is the hand. Whatever. And you can see like this deltoid and the elbow because you're looking at it from behind. If this person was very thin, their elbows would actually flare out, and so would their wrists. Because that's the way the bones are. They don't have, if you're very thin, if you're losing a lot of tissue, muscle, start to look more and more like the actual bones underneath you. So that's why I'm making her wrist kind of bigger here. Her elbow is going to be bigger. I mean, she's been basically in a contest of wills for a decade. It definitely hasn't been working out. Maybe you're wrong. Are you sure? I am going to elongate her fingernails a little bit. But clearly somebody has come out and trimmed her fingernails while she was out there. Because otherwise they'd be like... And if I did this, nobody'd know what the heck I was doing. What are you doing? Making long Guinness Book of World Records fingernails. And if you've ever read Guinness Book of World Records, you know what I'm talking about. Evidently there's something not entirely ethical about the way the Guinness Book has recorded like their records and how they verify things. I think that there was some money that exchanged hands. And if you asked me if I was sure, I would doubt myself. But recently I think it was somebody told me, but then again it might have been a student. You can't believe students. I heard him say you can't believe students. Rob, if you're not doing anything tonight, Rainbow Six Siege. Honey, did you remember the front door? Yeah, right. I mean, like, if I got to work one day and you said, Bob, did you leave the curling iron on? I would doubt whether or not I turned it on and whether or not I had one. That's how, like, much self-doubt I'd have. I have crippling self-doubt. That's right. Triple checking things is legit, right? Did I leave the curling iron on? Ooh, I almost just reached for the keyboard again, Andrew. Keyboard shortcuts. They used to be the thing. Now they're not. Some of the people I taught how to design, some of my interns and stuff, would mock me right now mercilessly because I tell them constantly I like just about slap their hand like a schoolmistress with a ruler when they would try and click on things rather than just using like Control Z. Rather they go up and hit edit and go down to undo, you know, and I would like snap on them. Well, now I'm trying to get away from doing that. I'm sure they'll be not so pleased with me. I did drive someone away from graphic design one time. That was fun. She was my intern and she just, after a while, was like, I don't think this is for me. I'm like, done it again. She's been standing out there forever. Her hair is a wreck. But someone was like, nah, I don't care about the hair. You're right. They just gave her a manicure. Hotkeys are a thing. I just, when I'm doing, not using hotkeys, I'm using this thing. They're definitely a thing. Or were you mimicking them in what they might say? You're so narrative, Andrew. It's like you're a writer or something. Oh wait. You are. My son put out a, I want to say, what is it in like D&D when you, it's like a module or something. Now I can't think of the words because I don't really do this. At any rate, he put out like a small source book. So he writes as well, and it's on DM's Guild. A few hundred people have downloaded it, which is crazy. I got you. I think I was stuck in a keyboard using Stone Age. Keyboard using Stone Age. Someday. Someday when you're old, it'll be amazing what people are using. But, you know, like, I don't know if you've tried to type on a touch screen for any length of time, it might as well be impossible. There's no feedback. There's no, so like all of the things that this little remote's doing for me, the undo, the grab, and all these things could be done by a smartphone app. But since there's no feedback, I would have to look back every time and go, my thumb is over the undo, then tap. Whereas with this, I can feel where it is because there's still that dimension to it. So we are, sure, we're super advanced. We got these touchscreen devices like on Star Trek. But they're not good for everything. Typing on a touchscreen makes me crazy. Yeah. Definitely. It'll make me want to pull my hair out and say something like, at any rate. That's what I would say. Not going to let it go. If I mock it enough, I'll remember to stop doing it. I want to make like holes in the ends of this, like it's frayed. That's why you put the messy marks in the fabric. Like the sideways cross-hatching here and there. And since this is actually a decent big part of the page, I do want to add some... I want to dwell on this part of the illustration for a while. It was super important to me that I had this scene in the comic. I don't know why. I was just kind of possessed by the idea. I've been way better about it this stream because you mocked me in the previous stream. And the word of the day is... Bob is a self-conscious jerk. Ankles. Bigger than normal because bones. I'm gonna have to go get Garrett soon from his place of working. Which means I probably should end this sooner than later. I hate drawing feet. So what do you do with your tablet if you don't do... Thane's a good name, by the way. Good Norse name. Or is it Viking? Norse? Whatever. What do you do with that tablet? That 24-inch tablet. Because I might be in the market to replace this at some point. And if you're not using it, that discount you're going to give me on it would be pretty awesome. Andrew, hopefully you can make it next time I do one of these. Love you, brother. Be awesome. Scottish, that's what it is. Scottish. Once I save this and put it on, let it publish to Facebook and YouTube, we'll see if it gets nailed for a copyright warning because of the music. Even though it says it's royalty free. Ooh, that's a bad line, y'all. No, you're amazing. I'm not crying, you're crying. Alright, I'm going to save, and I'm going to duck out. Definitely, Robert, if you're on this evening for a terrorist hunt, or, I could aggravate you by having you play dwarves, that would be a lot of fun. I think it would be a lot of fun. Oh. Happy tears, but they're happy tears. Everyone, you're awesome for showing